Okay, I figured out my key to success, now I'm locked in. I learned how to open doors like a locksmith. I'm uptown, I'm the one they wanna shop with. Run off with the bag even though we don't shoplift. All that gun talk y'all want, I'm not with. It's not cool, everybody got them long clips. You gon' mess around and get one of your dogs hit. And when you do, I hope you know you're not John Wick.
Welcome back. You're now locked in with DK and Atwood. I'm Atwood. Killer to my left as always, DK. You're on the mats at the Next Element Academy, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, if that wasn't obvious.
Evident, yeah. It's a pretty big logo, man. I remember whenever we got this thing designed, I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I mean, it looks great.
Yeah.
Especially for a backdrop here.
I think it's like 6x12, 4x12, something like that. Yeah, 4x12, maybe 5x12.
I love it. I've noticed, like, whenever you see people like training online at their own gyms, like a lot of people use Fuji mats. Are they like the best mats you can get?
So back in the day, it used to be, Zebra mats, Dolomer, and Swain. Those used to be the main ones. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. Trying to think.
Now it just seems
There's
like it's
one.
Fuji everywhere.
And now, so the guy that used to work for Zebra, his name's Patrick, and he works at Fuji now. Yeah. And he works, Jimmy Pedro is a big judo black belt world champion, Olympian, and them together created Fuji mats. And I don't know why it kind of took off. I guess it's just like Zebra was the top dog for a long time, man.
Yeah.
Long time. I got sponsored by Zebra back in the day, and it was a $2,000 deal, and they gave me $2,000 worth of mats.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
How many was that like?
So it was like a 20x20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you look,
Damn.
yeah. So each one of these little rectangles back in the day were like 100. I think Zebra was 145 a mat.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I imagine, almost said I reckon.
Yeah, we got lucky. So
But I imagine that it spread though because of like word of mouth. Like people go train at a gym, like, oh, I really like those mats.
Yeah,
And then next thing
well,
you know,
people
they go to
see
the
my
place.
design and they see our setup and stuff. They're like, dude, and so they'll message me and I link them up with Patrick from Fuji, and he designs everything. He'll send you like a little thing. He'll send you exact measurement. Dude, they'll even come out. So our next place that we do, I want Fuji to come out and do everything.
Oh, so you just sent them the measurements for all this?
Oh yeah, I send them all the measurements. They send me they'll do like the draft
Yeah.
drawings and stuff like that you can see. I'll be like, yay or nay. Oh, I need to change this. What about this? And so like they'll place the mats and whatever your measurements say, like they'll give you the right amount of mats to match that. However, you're going to have to cut the mats.
Oh.
So every one of these on the wall on this side, we've cut.
Gotcha.
So we've had to measure. We had to cut on the bottom side and peel that foam out. And that foam is so hard compressed, and it's so hard to rip out, dude. You got to use the end of like a claw hammer, like a hammer, and claw it and like rip it out, dude. It's hard.
Yeah, well,
it
came out nice.
I've done a lot of I've done another gym in the area too. So that kind of helped me like get my wheels prepared for this one. I did a lot of designing, it was 3,000 square foot of mat space, on the other spot, and all the wall pads, everything. And man, I cut so many mats, and then I did that in here too. I think all those on that end over there are cut. But
well, it came out nice, so
yeah. But Fuji's like really easy to work with, and their stuff's really good quality. Yeah. So
go to Fuji for 10%. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Use our code.
Yeah, use our code. I wish. But our academy actually is on the Fuji website. If you go to like academies, they did like a little interview with us, and they did like a we're on some of their pictures for if you go like on heavy bags, whatever you want to see the custom heavy bags and stuff like that. Like our pictures
you use them for
backroom.
everything.
Yeah.
Dope. So we were talking to a brown belt here before we started today. His name's Chevy. He's gonna be on with us next week.
That's his legit
his actual name. And what's his last name?
Barefoot.
Chevy Barefoot. Interesting name.
It's something to do with Indians.
Oh, it's got to be.
I think, and I think he said his dad or his mom liked Chevy.
Oh, so that's why he got Chevys.
Yeah,
or Chevy. And then his
so
last
we'll
name.
talk about him. Yeah, Barefoot is Indian.
Indian
part, and he doesn't look Indian.
No, he doesn't
at all.
Doesn't.
But awesome guy, lifetime martial artist. So yeah, we're gonna
of
talk
many
to him. many different disciplines. Yes.
Yeah, so he'll be a great guy to talk to.
And you know, he's just I mean, the guy's on the cusp of getting his black belt. You know, so who knows when that'll be.
Well, so we talked about bringing Chevy on, and then we got to talking a little bit about the different disciplines of martial arts that you'll see in the combat world, and which ones we feel are the most dominant. I think that's a great thing to talk about today, and it kind of segues us into next week.
There's a lot of people that talk about wrestling, right? Wrestling's number one. Mm-hmm. And I agree to that, but I also disagree to that. So if we go back to UFC 1, 2, and 3, how many wrestlers were in that realm, right?
Yeah, probably
in those tournaments. Probably a couple. I know maybe UFC 4. What was it? I think that was
Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock.
Yeah,
he was a wrestler, and he got choked or armbarred or something like that. I think he got choked by Hoist Gracie with the gi.
Oh yeah, he did.
So,
but I think he was kind of plowing through everyone else though.
Yes, he was. I'm just saying, with the wrestler, yes, you can control the fight situation because you can take the fight either up or down. But you got to know how to defend submissions too, But a lot of wrestlers, man, they know they're like, oh, my neck's in a bad position sometimes, or my head's in a bad position. Elite wrestlers, it's really hard to sweep a wrestler, a really good wrestler that wrestled in college, So, I mean, I think ultimately, obviously being able to control where the fight takes place gives you an advantage right off the bat.
Right.
Now, a jiu-jitsu guy, he doesn't really control where the fight takes place. He just knows, and you just know, the only thing that he can do is get you down to the ground. Now, one issue that a lot of people have, that a lot of just primarily jiu-jitsu guys and wrestlers have, is their striking game is terrible. But wrestlers usually pack more power because they know how to use their body weight.
You do a lot of plyometrics.
Do a lot of plyometrics and throwing stuff and things and moving human bodies around that weigh, that's like slabs of meat.
Right.
So I think, ultimately, like, wrestling is like king, because you can just control where the fight's going. If you don't like where I'm going to take you down, slam you on your head, maybe throw a couple punches and I'm back out.
Yeah.
Right. So you can do that, and I think we were talking to Chevy because he's a karate black belt, and we were just talking about how it's just like with the ages, I guess, like the
eras,
it's
just evolved.
Fighting in general. Yes, fighting in general. Yes,
Yeah.
You're exactly right, man. I mean, from the 1800s to 1600s, like all the way back to the beginning of time. I mean, the fighting has just evolved over and over and over. To what it has now, and who knows what it's going to be like? How fast are people going to be? How smooth are people going to be? How good can the human body get? Eventually, it's got to be to a
It's got a cap.
It's got to.
Yeah, and whenever you were saying that, that's what I was thinking. Like, we've got to be getting to that point now. Like, what else can people do?
Maybe I just think, man, with with MMA, right? If you're a legit expert in any field, except for maybe Aikido, I haven't really seen anybody with Aikido. Now, Steven Seagal tried to get his claim to fame with Anderson Silva.
Jeez, that guy.
With his Aikido.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it, man. Like,
no.
You know, I just don't think taking two of my hands and focus on one of your wrists. Now, they do a lot of, like, blocking and different things like that. So maybe that concept is, you know, I haven't really trained Aikido. Maybe Chevy has.
Yeah. The one of 100 disciplines that man's conquered.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think, man, and I haven't trained Aikido either.
I almost
But
started.
You watch their seminars, and they grab your wrist, and apparently they can throw you all kind of ways.
I almost started in Aikido when I was a kid.
Really?
They had an Aikido school. I mean, it looked like a legit martial arts school, bro.
Steven Seagal did a pretty good job of that in the movies.
Dude, this was late 80s, early 90s, and it was in an old brick building. It had Aikido on the top of it, you know, and my cousin got to train in it. And I remember him coming back and he's talking about breaking fucking bricks and shit and cinder blocks. And I'm like, that's the shit I want to do right there, man. I want to break bricks or cinder blocks with my fists.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe he was bullshitting, but
I definitely believe there's people out there who can do that. You know, because, I mean, I've seen the human body do crazier shit, I believe. Yeah,
but that's what I wanted to do, man.
Right.
I was like, oh, I want to be, because I grew up watching kickboxer, blood sport.
Yeah.
And I remember the training. I was like, I want to train like that. I want to be, I don't know if you remember Kickboxer with Van Damme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where he's underwater and he's practicing kicks and shit like that.
People, boxers actually do that, though.
Underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them do. Yeah, I know.
I don't know if
pictures
it's like
of Muhammad Ali and stuff like that.
Right. I don't know if it's like for show or like a legitimate thing.
It helps with your lungs, I guess.
Whatever, lungs.
And flowing and stuff like that.
But I do think for the most part, the people that are breaking bricks and shit, I think it's bullshit. But I do believe that there's people out there also.
What about the ones that are on fire? Like they'll light them on fire and then they break them. What do you think about them guys?
I just think that it's a spectacle.
What do you guys think? Make sure you comment.
Yeah.
What do you think about the people that there's like wood? What about wood? It can be wood. They light it on fire. Boom, they smash that shit.
I think that's more practical than cinder blocks.
Definitely more practical. No. But how cool is it though?
Yeah, it looks very cool, man. Especially when you're in front of a crowd that all paid $50 a ticket.
Oh, man.
Like give them
put some lighter fluid on it, and then you catch it on fire. You got to do your fingers like all weird.
Yeah,
you know.
I forget what that's called, the finger thing. But whenever I used to do karate,
you did karate.
Yeah,
tell us about it, sir. I never did karate.
Dude, really?
I didn't start martial arts until I was 23, man.
Oh wow. I did karate whenever I was little.
I wanted to do it all. Mm-hmm. It's like, but my parents didn't really want to pay the money to do that. And I was so involved with like baseball, football, basketball.
Yeah.
Like the time frames didn't really work out for me. But I always wanted to fight. I was just from a small town. So me wanting to fight, I was like, I'll just train by really fighting people. You know,
so I'll go to school today,
for sure,
and fight.
Yeah.
See,
I didn't always get in fights in school, but like when I first moved to this town was called Blacksburg, I would get into a fight. I think when I was in 4th grade, that's when it started. 4th, 5th, 6th, getting a fight every year at school. Nice. But I never got caught until 10th grade year.
I don't recall. Well, technically, it wasn't in school. I got in a fight on a school bus one time, but besides that, the only street fights I've been in, 2 of them I got jumped.
Those are fun.
Yeah, and that's about. Maybe there's one other time I can't remember. I haven't been in a whole lot of street fights. Like my fights, And they're point fights, not like real fights, right? But I did whenever, I would go to tournaments like regionals, nationals, and stuff like that.
Can't kick it 100%. Can you kick it 100%, or are you supposed to just touch it?
You're not supposed to, but it happens. I saw people get their noses broken. And as you get older, it's less and less gear. Of course, when you first start out, you got the chest gear, the head gear, the hand gear, the shin gear. But I got to a point where I was just wearing like shin pads and gloves.
And so, who's had Venom Page? Has had a lot of success. He's a point karate guy.
Yep. And Raymond Daniels as well.
Raymond Daniels as well, yeah.
And you've seen that transcend into their MMA game. I think both of them, maybe Taekwondo, I'm assuming, just because of their style. Tons of kicks all the time.
I think that's more Raymond Daniels is more Taekwondo style. But I want to say Venom Page because he's more blitzy. Venom's more blitzy, and that's more like karate style based.
And you see that too, right? In point fighting, they'll be standing there, all of a sudden they just rush forward, and you see Venom Page do that. He did it in his last fight in the UFC.
Yeah,
against Kevin Holland.
Same with Wonder Boy, and so karate has like made this resurgence. I think almost it was like, hey, motherfuckers, we're still legit,
right?
But if you take us down,
yeah.
But they train a lot of defensive stuff with they wait, they do a lot of waiting, side kick, waiting, counters, side kick, waiting, punch, and then get back, and then they kind of get their rhythm. But with their rhythm, you can get that timed, right? Like that's the thing about their hop. You can time that shit.
Yeah. It's kind of like you were saying, everybody has tics.
Everybody has tics, and a lot of karate people, they have tics. Maybe they're doing something with their hand every time they hop forward or different things like that, and we can time those things. Now, it'll take you 8 weeks to probably practice that perfect timing over and over and over and over and over again, but you can practice people's timing, and be able to counter them or be able to, like, when they're about to hop, you step forward and go for a single leg, or you step forward and kick their calf, right? A lot of different things. And here I am, I'm being a Monday morning quarterback about things you can do, right? But it's just,
Well, these are all things that you've done, so you're not necessarily being a Monday morning quarterback. It's not like you're a backseat driver over here,
Yeah. Like my wife.
Say what?
Like my wife, a backseat driver. I'm like, would you like to
you
drive?
You gonna hear that one, dog.
Would you like to drive?
You're gonna be on the way to Florida, and she's gonna be listening to the podcast. She's gonna be like, "Excuse me."
Nah, she will. I don't think she's listened to an episode. So it's like,
but there are a couple people that have made it to the big show, the big stage,
from karate.
Not
Aikido.
We can name just about every single one of them because there's like 5. I'm sure there's more than 5.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got started out in karate,
especially back in the day, like whenever we were kids.
Yeah, nowadays people that are coming up on scene like Joe Selecki, who we had on the podcast, what was that last week?
No, the week before last.
Week before last. And he started training at 5-6 years old, jiu-jitsu, and started learning how to choke people. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's nowadays people are just training earlier jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
And I mean, he's been training jiu-jitsu for 20 something years now, man.
And let's be honest, the UFC, that is why people are.
You're exactly right.
Are training all these different disciplines now.
It kind of opened up people's eyes. Like, oh, like karate's only a fraction of how to fight, right? Karate's not the answer to everything, right? And it became very watered down to a lot of these places, especially now. It's like you go to a karate place and it's a young or older guy who's got a bunch of younger nerds,
kids for the most part,
that are his apprentices and black belts, junior black belts, and they're teaching the class. And so you don't. I mean, you'll get the master or whatever, but and they nickel and dime you there, man. Too,
Well, there's no question that there's some places that. I mean, you could essentially pay for belts, and what I mean by that is we used to have a joke at the place that I used to train at a long time ago, and the joke was about Karate World. He's like, well, if you want your black belt, you can go buy one at Karate World, you know? But it's the good thing about karate is, and we've kind of talked about this before, it will teach you discipline, you know, and depending on the
instructor, you'll do the body hardening and stuff. Like we were talking, we're going to talk next week to Chevy about, you know, him doing the body conditioning. And that's that shit. I was like, when I in the 80s and 90s watching Bloodsport and shit, and I'm like, oh, I want to fucking drop coconuts off a tree onto my abs.
What the fuck, dude?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, I want to do that. I want to practice blindfolded. I wanted to do
Somebody throw sand in my eyes.
Dude, please. Let's train. So I think that's why I gravitated towards MMA. Is like, well, it's like I saw it, you know, I saw people training on Ultimate Fighter and shit like that, and I was like, oh, dude, these dudes are training their balls off. Because the first Ultimate Fighter, if you don't, to get on, they picked teams at the beginning. Yeah. Right? Everybody showed up, and then they picked who they wanted. Well, so it was Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture. So they were like, we're going to put you guys through a fucking...
like a tryout.
Like, yeah. And so they put them on, like, I think they started out, like, the treadmill thing.
Yeah, yeah. So they did the treadmill. Oh, yeah.
It was like they ended up doing 10 miles an hour for 10 minutes.
Because I remember like Chris Liebman got pissed drunk the night before.
Yeah, man.
And, like, outperformed everybody. Him and Diego Sanchez.
Crazy, right?
But crazy. I think with, you know, karate, like, yeah, you can learn discipline, but there's only certain disciplines of karate that I feel like can really benefit you in a fight. And I think, you know, now granted, I'm not an expert here.
The forms part of it.
No.
Or air.
And
you can't be doing the air punches.
I'm no expert on all disciplines of karate, but the one that I feel like I've seen the most translate into MMA is Taekwondo. Because you will learn how to kick and you will learn how to do it good. And obviously, if you can throw a good kick
or side kick, spinning wheelhouse,
leg kick, you know, in terms of the street, right? Those are game changers.
There's Pettis, good Taekwondo guy.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Ben Henderson trained Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. You know, so a lot of people have trained Taekwondo.
I think that's a more popular discipline of karate that you'll see,
which is crazy. You know, Taekwondo was, and the reason they used to, this is made to kick people off horses.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Koreans developed that. So, you know, because they do a lot of jumping, spinning. Yeah. To
kick people off horses. Imagine sitting down with the village. Listen, guys. We got to figure out a way to get them off those fucking horses.
Bro. So we're going to throw you guys up in the air, and you're going to spin around and fucking like a windmill until your leg knocks their head off.
That's crazy. And it's, you know, I'm glad you said that, because growing up, whenever I was doing karate too, our sensei, he would tell us like these different, these different weapons that they would use, why they would use them. Did you know the sais were used to pin people's feet into the ground? Ooh. And that's why they had the long prong in the middle and the two shorter ones that came off, because they would throw them at your feet to pin you in the ground.
Wow.
It's just crazy. Like, and it makes sense, right? Because a lot of these martial arts, they're ancient. You know, like the one that I did, Goju-Ryu, like the one that Chevy was telling us about, one of them that he did, just ancient shit.
Jiu-Jitsu is just the newest one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because, I mean, it started in Japan, samurais.
Right.
And then, you know, just progressed over to that. But that was like, we talk about kung fu and different things. I mean, that's ancient as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Imagine trying to triangle somebody in samurai armor. You know? That's tough, man. Yeah. But yeah, and so when it comes to karate, I don't want to like expand upon it too much, because you know, I feel like that'll be what we do next week.
Yeah.
It's just
personally, so yeah, let's just say it. It's like wrestling, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Muay Thai,
Yeah.
boxing.
Now, would you put Muay Thai and kickboxing in the same thing?
No.
Or I wouldn't either.
No. And kickboxing, maybe like Taekwondo is last.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you do 3 out of those 5, right, you're good. But you got to have wrestling, got to have jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
You got to.
Yeah.
Muay Thai helps you with kind of understand clinch a little bit, even just kind of like wrestling. Wrestling will help you understand the clinch and everything too. So will jiu-jitsu. But the Muay Thai helps you kind of understand your forearms, your frames, the Thai plum, what you do with your hips. You don't, because like in wrestling, you won't hip to hip usually, or hip away if I'm trying to go for a sprawl or different things like that. But if I got that Thai plum, I want to press my forearms in and get my butt back so I can blast knees and throw elbows and different things like that. So, you know, Muay Thai,
I feel like that's also a good mix of like boxing and kickboxing as well.
Yes.
It's kind of like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. It's right in the middle. It's a little bit more, and that's why I like boxing, because boxing you use angles and you use traps and different things like that, and you set things up with your hands, right? And you use movement and speed. So I like to use my boxing with my kickboxing. And then I use my Muay Thai to set up my wrestling stuff too, right? Because I'll be in the clinch. Maybe I'll throw in elbows, boom, but I'm already in on a takedown too. Or I'm in on a takedown, and then I'm in a clinch position where I can throw elbows or knees or different things like that, you know. So,
but I feel like modern day wrestling has kind of been maybe it's not always the most exciting to watch.
Freestyle, Greco.
But most dominant.
Yeah, most dominant.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
If you look at every major champion, just about up and down the boards, they've all either wrestled in college, wrestled in high school.
Oh, yeah. From John Jones.
John Jones, I mean, he wrestled in high school, and he wrestled a little bit in college, I think it was, until he got his girlfriend pregnant. And then he was like, man, I got to make some money, and start fighting.
Yeah.
Like 6 months after training.
And Leon Edwards, I mean, although he's the champ now, I mean, it was Kamaru for a while, right? Kamaru, wrestler. Yeah. Colby Covington, wrestler. I don't think Leon started wrestling until after.
Same with GSP. Same with GSP. George St. Pierre, you know, GSP didn't have and that's why I like, GSP trained individual things. He trained all.
He was a karate guy,
wrestling guy. He was a karate guy originally. Yes, I think his was start with S. What's that one?
I'll butcher anything. I try to
Shoyun Rule or something like that. If that
sounds like show your roll, bro.
Show your roll. Anyways, man. So yeah, that's kind of like our take on just like the different avenues of different martial arts out there, man.
Yeah.
Like the effectiveness in MMA.
Now, my favorite to watch, kickboxing.
Yes, my favorite to watch is like glory style kickboxing, to where it's nonstop action. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like Muay Thai fights. Sometimes aren't a lot of action because they don't press the action. You don't get like you go like glory style kickboxing is like constant action. You get
Out of all like the karate guys that we named with karate backgrounds, who was your favorite to watch?
Ooh. Man. Probably Wonder Boy, you know?
Really?
Yeah, probably Wonder Boy. I mean, he's a little boring, you know, but I'm not a big Venom Page fan.
Why? How could you not like that guy?
Just not,
man.
Damn.
I saw Wonder Boy's
obviously
dad this weekend.
It's his attitude, you know. It's his attitude and just the way he is.
He's a bit cocky.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
I think my favorite is Raymond Daniels.
I like Raymond Daniels as well.
Fight, man.
Yeah, Raymond's good.
And I think,
but I think as far as like from the all around perspective of things, I think Wonder Boy, he's been built up the right way, you know. He's older.
They've both got to be about the same age now, right?
Who?
Raymond Daniels and Stephen Thompson.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I would love to see them fight in karate combat.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Mark my words. I'm putting that out into the atmosphere.
Raymond just got beat by a Muay Thai guy.
Did he?
Yeah, he just got beat by
How did he lose? Was it decision?
Yeah, it was a decision. He got beat by Eddie. Gosh, I forget his name. But he was a Muay Thai guy, Lithway guy too.
Damn.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, real quick before we get out of here, Luke Rockhold. Did you see his fight in Karate Combat?
Did he get knocked out?
No.
No.
He knocked the other guy.
Knocked the other dude out.
Which is
High kick or what?
No, I think it was just punches.
Oh.
I think anyway.
Man.
And they're doing jiu-jitsu there now too. Yeah, Craig Jones.
I did see that. Damn,
off
Phillip
the side
Rowe,
of the wall.
Yeah, and Philip Rowe. He did a flying triangle.
Yep. Phillip Rowe, UFC guy, or was.
Yeah,
UFC
he's still in the
Is
UFC.
he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got a fight coming up June 1st.
Damn, I'm surprised they
I
let
need
him
to get
compete
him
in
on.
that.
He's got his own podcast now. It's pretty fresh, man.
Is
it's
it?
like, yeah. His nickname's Philly Fresh, you know. So
Yeah, well, you know the guy.
yeah, we go
Gotta
back
reach
a little
out to
bit.
him, get him to come on.
We've
with
trained
us.
together before down in Orlando. Yeah, we definitely need to do that for sure.
Are you coaching Muay Thai today?
Not
No. All right. Well, they're all piling in now anyway, so it's
Yeah.
going to get pretty loud back there.
going to get loud. They're jumping rope back there.
Before we take it out, DK's birthday's this weekend.
He's 41 years old.
He accepts all forms of payment.
Yep. You can reach out to me if you want to know my Venmo. You know, I'll shoot you my Venmo. You can Venmo me over $100 real quick. I'll take all forms. Apple Pay. You know.
So he's going to Florida. He doesn't know what he's doing. The wife's gonna take him to Florida this weekend. I'm gonna be at the Buffalo.
Probably going to
Buffalo
Disney
Ranch.
World or something. You're going to the.
I'm doing it.
Damn it! Fuck! I forgot that's this.
I don't know.
weekend,
I don't know what to expect.
They told me that they were going to try to change it, but it's
Yeah.
fun as fuck, man.
Is it?
God, it's so fun, dude.
Sweet.
I hate on
How many guys are out there for that?
Dude, there's like 10. Last year, I want to say it was like 10 people,
Oh, okay.
5 each.
I didn't know how many.
So they're going to split you up into groups. You guys are going to be on
Yes,
teams, different teams,
yeah.
and then
Hopefully they do something. I'm
gonna have
good
a
at
captain.
for a challenge.
Dude, it's like it took us a day and a half
To do what?
to finish the scavenger hunt.
So it's all one big scavenger hunt.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
one clue leads you to the next clue. The
Oh,
next
shit.
clue leads you to the next clue, and you have to, dude. You might be stuck, and before you might find another clue before you're supposed to find that clue,
Ah,
and then you got to backtrack. And then, dude,
so
it is.
so what? Do I need to take like hiking boots or something?
Definitely need to. You need to take some shit to get in the woods in.
Okay.
You know,
Because I have no info.
yeah, definitely take stuff for in the woods. We also played. If you guys hadn't done this, we played paintball with slingshots. So we played capture the flag with slingshots
At the ranch?
At the ranch. So one up, we're out in the woods. Well, we were out in the woods,
Yeah.
and so you got this slingshots, and you got a bunch. You got paintballs. You got to keep them in your pocket, dude. You shoot one paintball, loading back up and get. It
Yeah.
takes time,
Yeah.
right? So you shoot, you miss. You got to take off running because that dude's immediately trying to shoot your ass back, man.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun.
So we played capture the flag, where you have a bucket, and if you shoot the bucket with your paintball, you win.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but it's a 5-gallon bucket hanging up in the tree line, and so you're trying to get to that side without getting hit. If you get hit, you have to run all the way back to reset yourself.
If they do that again this year, I might shine in that one. I used to shoot same thing at the neighbor's house when I was a kid.
So you got people that are going to be there that have done it before too, so they're gonna remember. My team won last year, of course. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And like it's gonna be a mutual friend of ours has a buffalo ranch, and there's tons of buffalo out there. It's
not tons, but probably like 7 or 8.
More
maybe.
buffaloes than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a ton for me. So looking forward to that. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend while DK's doing the birthday stuff.
Yep.
And then we will reconvene next week with Chevy.
Yep.
Old Chevy barefoot, and we'll talk about karate.
Yep. Let's get it. Cool. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for locking in with us. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. We're going to continue putting out good content week after week. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good weekend. Until next time.
Out.